just
Well,
phase.
yeah, like a viper. I just dart.
Yeah.
It's a shifty guy.
Right. Not
Man.
catching me. Bob and Weave.
That's how you got confined to podcasting, as we caught you the first time. You're never letting it happen again.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now I'm chained to the laptop.
One thing they don't tell you about podcasting is if someone else comes across and they kill you, then they have to take your place.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think Mark Maron was born?
Yep.
Anyway, welcome to Underworld News Tonight. A very special, because I didn't announce Pride Month last week, but it is Pride Month. A very special Pride Month. And the comedian we have on today is not only gay as in gay, but also gay as in lame, Aaliyah.
Hello, I'm Aaliyah.
Wow.
That was so funny.
Just a heads up, guys, like for Pride Month, we've announced it on Instagram, we've announced it on Facebook. It's important you guys know the Sasquatch and the alien we know in our logo, they are gay, married to each other. They do have sex, not often anymore. They've been married for a long time, and unfortunately, it's because the Sasquatch hasn't been taking the time to make the alien feel special. The alien it comes home to a sink full of dishes every day from this lazy ass fucking Sasquatch. And he never takes him out. He never compliments him. So that's the source of the problem. But there would be nothing wrong if they did have more sex, and we think they should.
And the Sasquatch maybe feels that he's doing a lot of work, making a lot of money.
Doing a lot of work. Everyone's doing what they can. Being a stay-at-home husband is also a job, Jason.
Maybe he doesn't appreciate, constantly being cut down over oh, you didn't empty the dishes. Oh, you didn't feed the kid for a week. Like this sort of bullshit.
I feel like y'all are projecting so hard.
I want to say right now, fellas, for real, this is the best advice any guy, because I've been with my wife for a long time, and then I'll get to the actual show. The best advice I could ever is this. The way to get nagging to stop is to actually do the thing she's telling you to do. And then she stops doing it, because it turns out that's what it's about. So any of these fucking people who are like, my wife nags me, have you tried doing what she's asking you to do?
You really just said listening was the solution to marriage problems.
Right.
More helpful.
Yeah. I'm not buying it.
He's not buying it.
I'm not interested in listening.
That man who's not interested in listening, I mean, he doesn't have to listen to this point, because this is the man with the moistest scrotum in Denver. That's Jason Strong.
That's exactly right. I'm sitting up here. I'm totally Porky Pigging it. I just have a shirt on because we have the video, but I have no pants or anything, because it's it's like 100 degrees here. So fair.
And my name is Andrew Michaels, a man who would never and has never done mushrooms given to him under sketchy circumstances. Welcome to the show. Aaliyah, have you ever listened to a podcast before? Because you're a bit younger than us, right? You're 20.
Yes.
I'm 28, Jason's 73. It's your generation. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I listen to a lot of different comedy podcasts and stuff, or honestly a lot of YouTubers who I grew up watching.
Ooh.
Which
YouTubers did you grow up watching? I want to see if there's any overlap.
A lot of for a while I listened to This Might Get Weird, which is Grace Helbig's and Mamrie Hart's podcast.
Now I know who those people are.
That was some fun silence there.
Does anyone still watch the Angry Video Game Nerd?
Nope.
Yeah. I'm not. Sorry.
Does anyone still watch Doug Walker?
Nope. Don't know who that is.
Nope.
Oh
my
God.
Sounds like a used car salesman.
I feel like YouTube videos are this weird thing where the generation gap happens like every 6 months. Cause it's like, I'll
Yeah.
talk to people like a year younger than me and they watch like PewDiePie, and I've never watched a PewDiePie video in my fucking life.
Mhm.
I like just missed PewDiePie. Because I was like just a little too young.
Yeah. And that, yeah, when he committed suicide by cop, it was dark, dark day. Yeah, so what we do on this podcast is we bring you the weird, wacky, and wild news of the week. You know, aliens, UFOs,
Mhm.
Sasquatches, that
Mhm.
sort of things. Maybe
Yeah.
we have some goofy interjections, some segments.
Sure. Some
You know,
bits.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually what happens is I tell the truth and Jason gets paid by the CIA to
Mhm.
tell me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Good.
To obfuscate. Yeah.
Yeah. CIA's payroll getting bigger every day. Jason, my wife,
Right.
my dad, my therapist.
the, the cashier at Safeway.
The cashier at Safeway is the only one on my side.
Yeah, I can see that.
When I prepare for this show, sometimes I'll be listening to, like, I listen to podcasts. Sometimes I'll listen to like the actual UFO World podcast, which like
Mm,
don't like really, you don't need to listen to those
Yeah.
podcasts. They're not good in a lot of ways. But I'll be like going to like the corner store. There's a Circle K around the corner. And the guy, like, people will be like, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, "I don't want to talk to the Circle K cashier about this."
Right.
All right.
Just tell him it's what's the Brene Brown podcast?
Oh my God, yeah.
We can do hard things.
Oh.
No, that's not it. Whatever.
Oh
Something
God, what is it?
lessons of the heart, or it's something.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've been given that podcast as homework in my classes.
Me too, actually.
That's like
Me
not.
too.
All right, you know what? No, I'm going to go on a pre-fucking before the first story, Rand. This is ridiculous. Grad school and undergrad giving podcasts as homework. That's something that like shitty managers did at my call center job. That was,
Yep.
they'd be like, listen to this Harvard Business Review podcast. It
Right.
wasn't like a useful exercise.
You had homework at work?
Yeah, you have homework at work
Mhm.
when yeah, you get homework at work. The thing is, and then you work from home and it's all homework because you're always on the clock.
Always at home.
Yeah, because you're always at home. You can never actually call in sick because what are you going to say? Like, I don't want to get people sick. I'm in my house. And you realize I'm trapped and there's nothing I can do. Anyway, do you guys know this is from futurism.com?
Okay.
So it's coming, this is the news that literally people haven't even heard yet.
Right. Yeah, it's from the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harvard scientists say there may be an unknown technologically advanced civilization hiding on Earth. According to this article.
Okay.
Now, this is a new paper. It's been published. It's been bound to raise eyebrows, is what the article said. You know what? It's a bit presumptuous. I don't like hearing that shit.
No. I don't know if I raise my eyebrows. I might give it a
Yeah, that's what I did.
A chin scratch and a nod. Huh.
I only have ever raised my eyebrow seductively.
Yeah.
And that was in courtship.
I was gonna say that, and that's how you got me on the podcast.
That's how we courted you for the podcast. That's how we consummated the first episode.
Right. I was thinking, man, I don't have time for this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then the eyebrow raised, and it was just my heart thawed. And I was like, yes.
So anyway, in this new paper, bound to raise eyebrows in the scientific community, those motherfuckers do raise their eyebrows, so that's fair. A team of researchers from Harvard and Montana Technological University speculates that sightings of UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, what we used to call UFOs, right. But the term got changed because not always flying, you don't even really know if it's an object. It could be a psychic phenomena, an illusion, something like that.
Yeah.
May reflect, this is a quote from the paper, may reflect activities of intelligent beings concealed in stealth here on Earth, e.g. underground, and or even near its environs, e.g. the moon, and or even walking among us, e.g. passing as humans. This is according to this article. Now, right off the bat, I do like that they say Harvard scientists and not Montana Tech scientists.
Right, I did notice that.
Yeah, they were never like
I did know, yeah.
Montana tech scientists with the dumbest guy at Harvard.
Right. I wonder, man, Montana Tech. That sounds good. What do you think they study there? Like new kinds of fishing flies or uh
I
I don't know.
feel like so.
What kind of tech comes from Montana?
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Do you think like just new ways to stack straw?
Right. Yeah, I
What's
don't
even
know.
in Montana?
I
Is
mean, a
there
lot of
anything
great
cool
people
there?
who might anyone who listens to this podcast in Montana, that's a cool person right there.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe I get from Montana is that it's a very quiet place, but also it's more beautiful than a lot of like quiet places that are like more
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
purely farms. It's a lot more like in the rocks.
Yeah.
So it's like if Jason was like, I want to live like the environmental aspects of Colorado, but I want to be like even more remote. Like I do see the appeal. If I really wanted to
Yeah.
leave society, Montana would probably be like up there in my list of states to go to.
Yeah.
And I need
Okay.
society very badly because I'm a soft little boy who would get, hacked
Right.
apart at the fucking moment.
No, Montana is really beautiful, but outside of that, I don't really know like what I don't know. Cattle, I guess. I have no idea what people do in Montana other than
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
the
know.
cattle
Go to
ranch.
Glacier. Yeah. Fly
Yeah.
fishing. I don't know. But yeah. But anyway, I guess this guy studies aliens, right? From Montana.
So this was from a group of people. The researchers do admit that this idea, which they call hidden cryptoterrestrials, is an exotic hypothesis. That's quote. I don't think that's the right way to use the word exotic. I think that's a bit problematic these days. By the way, right? Aaliyah, no one can see you if you nod. This is an auditory medium.
Oh, I keep forgetting I have to talk.
Yeah, you do have to talk. I'm like,
That is the whole part of the
I'm like,
podcast.
does she need to warm up or should she just be really quiet? Am I mansplaining?
A little bit.
Good.
Mansplaining Montana.
There are no women there. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. Exotic. I don't know if they sorry, what's the phrase again? Exotic.
It's an exotic hypothesis. As in like I think they mean like it's out there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if exotic's the right word. I think maybe highly improbable, or I might even go so far as to say bullshit. But
yeah.
Yeah. Do they give like their reasoning or?
Well, we could get into it. The futurism summary of the Harvard and Montana Tech article probably doesn't go that far. They argue that the theory deserves genuine consideration in a spirit of epistemic humility and openness.
Sure.
This is like me arguing with my parents as a kid.
Right. I have epistemic humility and openness tattooed as a tramp stamp on my back.
Mm-hmm. Every line you've read from this article has the energy of like you just used a thesaurus for every word, and like none of them really mean anything. And they just fully like tried to sound smart.
No one's ever done that in college.
Right.
Right. No, we all just use ChatGPT now.
That's true. You use ChatGPT. Watch your skibbity toilet videos. That's why. Like,
my
God.
It amazes me. Like, this is what our 100th, 200th episode. Feels like we've been doing this forever.
It's definitely not our 200th episode. I think it's like our 30th. I think it's like 40.
Well, it feels eternal.
Well, but yeah.
It never ceases to amaze me how you're like half my age and somehow you come across as the old man every time we talk.
He just has the energy of a 40-year-old man in a 28-year-old man body.
We actually talked about this at our comedy night last night. I think skibbity toilet's real. There's actually a very intricate lore. There's actually a very intricate lore to skibbity toilet. We don't need to get into it on the show. But I've been looking into it, and folks, I gotta tell you, there's some crazy things out there. I think what it is that being a short man ages you because you have to condense your experiences into a little body.
Sure. No, that
Sure.
totally right.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah. I think that it's called Danny DeVito syndrome. You know, he's only 30.
I would believe it. The
Danny,
he's looked the same. He's been around my entire life. He has looked exactly the same.
well, now he's starting to age. Like he dyes his hair white. Like his hair is white. He stopped dyeing his hair, but it just looks
Okay.
like Danny DeVito dressed in old people makeup now.
Yeah.
But he's like, I mean, he's my grandpa's age, so.
Mhm.
All right. Anyway,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
That Danny DeVito's the same age as my grandpa. I don't know if they're the
Well, I
exact
was
same
trying to
age.
figure out how old your grandpa was.
My grandpa's 81.
My grandparents are older than your grandparents. That's confusing.
Probably. When did they have kids? My grandparents, you know.
Later. Well, I'm
Yeah.
the youngest of two youngest, so they had their first kids young and then just kept going.
Here's the thing you need to know about my grandpa. My grandpa Steve, we call him Stevie Shoes. Love him to death. I smoke weed with him every Thanksgiving.
Iconic.
My grandpa was a greaser in the 50s. Like he's the only person I know who like was that actual greaser before he like joined the Navy. And the thing about being greaser is that you don't use condoms when you're a jet all the way.
Does he have a cool leather jacket I can have?
Not that you can have. He has a cool, honestly, a Michael's Family Man, you're probably the same size. Definitely has some cool leather jackets. He's a shoe guy though. He's a shoe head. He likes fancy shoes. He's got a bunch of fancy shoes.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
He sounds cool as shit, actually.
Yeah, he's a very cool man.
Yeah.
Your grandpa is cooler than me.
Yeah, he's cooler
and
than
I
me
just
too.
have to like accept that now.
Right. Yeah.
There's like he's a cool guy. He's an interesting fella. The interest in unexplained sightings, back to the article. The interest in unexplained sightings of UFOs by military personnel has grown considerably over the past decade or so. This attention grew to a peak last summer when former Air Force intelligence officer and whistleblower David Grush testified in front of Congress, claiming that the U.S. had already recovered alien spacecraft as part of a decades-long UFO retrieval program. Of course, we've covered this quite a bit. They're kind of summarizing a lot of what we've covered. So anyway, I'll just say that there are a few kind of more out there possibilities. You guys are going to hear my dog barking because I think I have a package getting here. It's trying to keep us from getting to the truth. I'm telling you, this motherfucker, every time I say something that's a bit too real, oh, the mail's here. Oh, someone's going for a walk. Oh, you should have learned how to dog train me 6 years ago when I was a puppy instead of figuring it out when I was like 5.
Yep.
All right, Lentil, let's cool it. That hasn't dissuaded. All right, so in the paper, they suggest a range of possibilities, each more outlandish than the next. First is that a, quote, remnant form of an ancient, highly advanced human civilization is still hanging around, observing us, watching us do this podcast, watching Jason Strong when he masturbates.
I kind of like it, actually. Yeah. That's
the thing is, that's why I don't buy into this theory, is because they would need to have a different watching booth than me, and I've like made it pretty clear, like visitors welcome.
What remnant? Super intelligent remnant, or
a remnant form of an ancient, highly advanced human civilization. So what if Jason, do you take edibles before we do this show?
On occasion.
Aaliyah, did you take an edible before we did this show?
I did not, but I feel like I would understand it more if I was high.
Okay. Here's the thing. Imagine, right? What if there were actually, all right, so imagine a world where in 10,000 years, chimps evolved to like the equivalent of human intelligence, right?
Okay.
And we're gone. And we're gone, right? Then they would be finding all these like little pieces of like human civilization and being like, what is this? Is this like part of the earth? Did this come from here? Did this come from there? Right? What they're suggesting is that some UFOs could be remnants of such a civilization that kind of collapsed. Like the underground elves. The underground elves that are now squarey dwarf people in Skyrim. That's a good example. I don't think that's what the researchers wrote.
You referenced a nerd thing to explain the other nerd thing.
Because you're so fucking cool, Aaliyah.
I'm just not that flavor of nerd.
Okay, because I was gonna say the coolest 20-year-olds are definitely the people that do stand up with 28-year-olds.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
That's how
Right.
you know.
Uh-huh.
Those are the jocks.
But we haven't found like remnants. We find like, archaeological finds, relics and stuff from what are pretty clearly like less technologically advanced.
Yeah, there
But we
are
haven't-
remnants of Neanderthal like civilization. There are cave paintings that we
Right,
fairly common or Neanderthal based. Yeah,
but we haven't dug up like an iPhone that's 10,000 years old.
well,
Like where's this like where's the evidence that there was like this super
Yeah.
advanced civilization?
all right. This is also based on vibes, and I cannot stress enough. I do take an edible before we do this show.
Sure.
Have you guys ever read? Fuck, what's the trilogy? The Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin.
Nope.
No.
Okay, it's a good series of books. None of this matters
Okay.
if you haven't read that. We're just gonna move on.
I'm gonna I'll put it on my list.
Yeah,
Mhm.
This is irrelevant if you guys haven't read it. There's just gonna be too many spoilers for a great series, so I won't do it. But what if their iPhones were made of like leaves, man?
Right. Like it's so advanced that to us it seems magical. Like we wouldn't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
recognize it. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, if you like, we look at our iPhone and we're like, oh, this doesn't biodegrade, and it doesn't. But if I left it in the ground for 10,000 years, it's just gonna look like a fucked up rock.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess maybe.
I
Again,
feel like there's also a possibility that maybe we've just evolved dumber over time.
that's true.
Like
Mhm.
maybe they were just genuinely smarter and now we're just dumb.
Well, also,
Hmm.
they were smarter, then we were dumb, and then we're getting smarter. But we
Yeah.
haven't caught up, which I think is what they're saying. Yeah. Like, because it's not just we went backwards. It's like
Right.
people in like the
Mhm.
1700s were like really fucking stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I think every day, Aaliyah, do you ever think about this? That we could have gone to the 1700s and been like the best scientist of all time?
Been like, ooh, germs.
All,
Like-
all these motherfuckers did was they would be like, I drew a picture of a bird. I'm a scientist. Like, whoop-de-fucking do. I'm sorry, Newton.
We just would have had to be good artists.
I know. I'm actually not good at that either.
I
Fuck.
know, I'm terrible at drawing.
Yeah.
I would still be a bad scientist in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
Well, I
that's what comedy's for.
Yeah.
I think what it was is like back in the olden times, first of all, there was no like Xbox, right? So
Mhm.
they couldn't play video games. They had nothing to do.
Who sounds like
And-
the old man now?
And like nobody knew anything. So there was still so much shit to like discover, right? If you had nothing but free time, right? Because your serfs are out tilling the fields or whatever, and you're in there dicking around with magnets. Like, yeah, you're gonna learn something because nobody knows anything about magnets.
Yeah.
But like now, there's so much knowledge, and we're all so busy that it's much harder to make those kind of discoveries.
Yeah. I used to think that I could have been an ancient Greek philosopher as well, but you know why I don't think I could do that?
Why
I
is
don't.
that?
I don't think I'd have to get over the fact that you have to be a pedophile.
Yeah, I knew it had something to do with diddling kids. Yeah,
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
don't think
I saw that coming.
I don't think the work environment is gonna work for me. Is what I'm
No.
saying.
Right? Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. All right. So the first suggestion,
Okay,
we've got
first,
a
yeah.
remnant form of an ancient, highly advanced human civilization still hanging around observing us. The second is that an intelligent species evolved independently of humans in the distant past, possibly from quote intelligent dinosaurs. This is just the plot of Jurassic League, the dumbest comic I've ever read.
Yeah.
This one sounds like a fan fiction.
This is
Mhm.
100%. The third is that these hidden occupants of Earth traveled here from another planet or time period, and the fourth is that these unknown
Mhm.
inhabitants of Earth are less technological than magical, which researchers liken to earthbound angels. I know, Jason, you've actually talked about the Fae and the fairies, and that's kind of an area that you're interested in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I actually find that more compelling than any of the other ones, besides maybe like a parallel civilization that's not dinosaurs.
Right.
Because I don't think it's time travel. I don't think it's
Yeah.
I don't think that they're intelligent dinosaurs. I don't really think I thought, it's a cool idea to think
I
like,
don't
what
know.
if there was some intelligent species while we were not, but I don't think that happened. Um,
Hmm.
but I do find the idea that, I mean, one thing we've kind of talked about a bit on the show is that when a person sees an alien or a fairy or a ghost or a Bigfoot, it's actually all the same thing. And it's like a collective response to something you can't
Hmm.
understand. So I would
Right.
believe that there
Right.
is like some sort of psychic energy out there, which if that's what these people are getting at, that works. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
and then they also mention another explanation put forward by our good friend Avi Loeb, controversial Harvard astrophysicist,
Right.
which suggests that other ancient civilizations may have lived on planets like Mars or Earth, but, quote, a billion years apart, and hence we're not aware of each other. So
Hmm.
like, I mean, these are, I feel like we're pretty clear on like some of the origin of life at this point.
Right.
Hmm.
It's not that I find none of this compelling, it's that they just mention, like, all of these different possibilities offhand, and they have varying levels of, like, credibility,
Right.
Hmm.
Right. It's like they're just listing possible settings for like a comic book series
which is
Yeah.
fine.
or something. You know what I mean? They're just brainstorming like what? Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of things are possible. We're the number
Right.
12 comedy podcast in Algeria.
Yeah. That's certainly possible.
Is
It's
that a real statistic?
I got a spam email that
Mhm.
said we're number 12 in Algeria, and then briefly we were on the iTunes charts in Algeria at like 37, I think at one point 12 for one day. But what it was I think they fucked something up that their podcasts weren't like classified properly. Because they were like, or like some data
Right.
thing happened. Because it would have had us being above like Joe Rogan there and stuff like that. So I don't think it was very
Yeah.
accurate when I looked at.
That's
Right.
funny.
Yeah. Or it's the intelligent dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, I looked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the underground dinosaurs.
I looked it up to see if we should like go on tour there and like do some live shows there to capitalize. And Aaliyah, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you've like learned a lot about this at college, but like Algeria is not like a chill place.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'd be okay because I'd be like a beloved entertainer by literally however many people are there. But God, I did.
Be the Algerian what, Justin Timberlake or
I spent
Uh-huh.
so much time after getting that email just testing the waters with my wife about like, can I convince her that it's okay for me to go there and court Jewett for a bit? She said no, which was probably good.
Did I say I said Justin Timberlake? I meant Justin Bieber. God damn it. Now I'm the old man.
Justin Timberlake's not. How old's Justin Timberlake? I know he's canceled now, right? Aaliyah, is
Is
Justin
he?
Timberlake canceled?
Did he do something shitty?
I think he talked about having sex with Britney Spears in a radio interview in 2003, and people are mad about that now.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people did bad things in 2003. I pooped my pants.
I was not alive.
That's probably for the best.
What with all the pants shitting?
Yeah, for real. It
Yeah.
was America's brown wave.
Right. Yeah. We all thought it was cool.
Yeah.
How silly we look now.
Shitting your pants and listening to Limp Bizkit.
Mhm.
Yeah. I definitely did. No, I've done both those things.
Yeah. More of a corn guy.
Kind of at the same time.
Well, all right, guys.
So recently we've decided that, being a couple like investigative reporters who cover what the weird and the supernatural.
Aaliyah, I think Aaliyah's visual reaction when you referred to us as investigative reporters really says it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried not to laugh and then failed. So
I think we can confidently call ourselves paranormal investigators, other than the fact that we won't pay $35 for a card.
No, right. Anyway, yeah, so we decided that we would use some of our expertise to help others. So we've added a segment where we will give advice
Yeah.
to people with maybe a supernatural or paranormal sort of problem or issue.
Yeah, and again, this is just supernatural right now, but who knows in the future, you know, relationship,
Right.
medical,
Uh-huh.
legal,
Mhm.
Right.
financial.
Right.
Those are
There,
really the
All
areas.
my areas of
right.
expertise,
Yeah.
so
Right.
clearly.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Shot. So this comes to us. This is on Reddit.
Yeah.
Reddit r/paranormal encounters. This is from late chip 5890.
5890. That's a
I
random number. I like when I know it's a random number. Sometimes you see people with
Mhm.
the 88 in their username, and that's iffy. I
Yeah.
always like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Or
that's
like you'll
true.
be like, what year were you born? You know, stuff like that. I don't know
Mhm.
anything about this person. This is total anonymity.
Right. Title: Bert came to life.
Oh boy.
My daughter told me this year after it happened. She was asleep in her bedroom. It was dark. She had
That's
Bert
good.
and Ernie. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, as you would generally like it.
Yeah.
Mhm. She had Bert and Ernie puppets. They were lying on the floor in her room. She said she saw the Bert puppet rise up from the carpet and sit erect.
Happy Pride Month.
What are you just talking like Bert and Ernie, of course, is the queer icons
Yeah, well, they are
Mhm. Yeah.
officially
that
married. They are officially.
Yeah.
Somebody from Sesame Street
oh,
said like
are
they're a gay
they?
couple now. They are
Mhm.
officially.
Oh, well, good
Yeah.
for them. Good for them.
I mean, listen, we never said how it's going.
Why she didn't tell me and her father, I don't know. She waited until she was an adult to tell me.
Mm.
I
All
would,
right.
man.
So, yeah. So I'm not sure. There's not really a question except that I guess, you know, why, why would someone hide something like this and why would this happen in the first place, I guess, right?
Right. So here's the thing, right? Bert and Ernie come into life in your kid's room.
Hmm.
What I'm wondering is, does this mean, and I don't want to get morbid here,
Hmm.
that Bert and Ernie died and they just tried to pass them off with a body double?
Maybe it was like the puppeteer. Do we know if like the puppeteer was still alive?
Ooh, that's
Oh
true. I
man,
mean,
that's a great point. I don't know. First,
can I ask maybe a stupid question?
it never stopped you before.
Do puppet Thank you. Do puppeteers die?
Yeah, they're humans.
Wait, what?
The people who control the puppets are humans.
I
There's a
thought the
dude
people who
inside of
control
there,
the
my guy.
puppets. I thought the people who control the puppets. Well, yeah, there is a dude inside of there. Happy Pride Month. But I thought the people that control the puppets were bigger puppets, and that's how they became like the puppet boss.
Huh. I get, boy, I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Because
Nope.
where would the big puppet come from? Is there an even
Yeah.
bigger puppet?
I guess Big Bird is a very big puppet.
Or
Yeah.
or or is this some sort of meta commentary on like humans don't have free will and so in some way we're all puppets.
Well,
So
that's
even
also true.
like like Jim Henson was the puppeteer for Kermit, right? But he
Mhm.
was also the puppet himself for
Ah.
existence or life or whatever. I don't know.
You know, Jim Henson's kids said it was actually very sad to have Jim Henson as a dad because he never had time for them, and then he died young.
Yeah, I'm sure it was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why the Bert and Ernie puppet are coming back to life to parent this kid. Jim Henson straight up. All right, so here's a theory. Maybe this is offensive. Aaliyah, you don't want to get canceled.
Cool.
You don't want
I
to get
love
canceled, so
when
you will.
every story starts with
Right.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Aaliyah,
Looking forward to it.
Aaliyah, you don't want to get canceled, so let me know if this is like something that I should not put out in the world. Because they'll cancel you right away, and then you won't be able to get your role in Skibbity Toilet the musical. Is it possible that Jim Henson's kids were like bad vibes kids? Like, you know how sometimes you meet a kid and he's a guy and he's like, my dad walked out as a kid, and you're like, I could see it. Like, I might, do the same thing. If I, and like maybe Jim Henson dies and then he's like, man, I feel bad about abandoning my kids, but I don't want to spend more time with them because they fucking suck. So I'm gonna possess the Bert and Ernie puppet. That way they'll know it's me. I'm gonna do both to let this kid know gay is okay. And
no, it was just Bert.
That's true.
It
Ernie's
was
dead.
just Bert. Yeah, Ernie did not did not become erect. According to the story, it was Bert. And to be honest, like, of course it's Bert, right? Like if there's going to be a malevolent entity,
that's
going to be Bert.
That's why, like, I'm joking about like Bert and Ernie but like, we need to talk about how I kind of think Ernie needs to get out of that situation and find someone else a little bit.
It does strike me as maybe a little bit like domineering or manipulative / abusive. Yes.
This is not about, and it's not about like gender presentation. It's not about that. It's about, I think that Bert chooses to look at the world in an angry way. And that is going to sap Ernie's unique energy.
Y'all paid so much attention to Sesame Street.
Yeah, all the time. To be fair, I was watching it until I was 27. I had overprotective parents.
I'll still watch it today, to be honest. If I happen to, like, if it happens to be, well, it's not on any, now you have to go look for it. But no, I would watch it like well into adulthood.
It's definitely still on TV.
I love that shit. Yeah.
You're just not up at 7 a.m. anymore.
Now that's true.
You're just too fucking hungover to watch Sesame Street now.
Right. That 7 a.m. is about the time I'm pouring myself into bed.
Yeah. No, I have siblings who are much younger than me. I have a 6-year-old brother. I think I mentioned this in the show. I have a 6-year-old brother. They're all about the Bluey now. Bluey. It's like a little dog.
I like that show. Watched Bluey.
I watched some of that show with my little brother. It's a cute little dog. I'm like, I wonder what that little scamp is up to today. So I think that's a good time. But anyway, back to this problem. So the theory that I was positing was that we've established beyond the shadow of doubt, like Jim Henson's kids were little dicklings that he had to die to get away from, right? We established this.
Did we?
Is that like, should I maybe not say that, or is that fine?
I don't know.
I tried to find pictures of their family and I couldn't find anything. So I can't fact check whether or not they look like assholes.
That's good, because if if you could find anything, then I would need to like think about what I'm saying right now. And that's like not the vibe I'm going for in my comedy. It's just the present moment.
Right. If we were to humanize them.
Yeah, if I were to think like they were people who, people don't listen to this podcast. So I don't have to worry about them listening to this.
No.
I think if we had more followers, I actually wouldn't make this joke, because I'd be like, they could hear it, but they definitely are not going to hear it.
No, it's just super intelligent dinosaurs under Algeria.
Yeah, it's the Algerians.
They don't give a fuck. Yeah, they don't have a Jim Henson equivalent.
I actually checked the polling in Algeria, and they just straight up, like, Jim Henson's kids are very unpopular. So I made this whole joke.
Wow. That's some really specific polling.
Yeah, it's like the French Jim Henson's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like I said, we've established beyond the shadow of a doubt, Jim Henson's kids, terrible. I would die to get away from them too. At the same time, you feel bad. You feel a little guilty abandoning your kids as a father. So what do? You possess a gay puppet. Everyone knows it's easier to possess a gay puppet because they get watched over a little bit less by Jesus. I'm bi. I should say I am bi. So I
start giving that little preface.
Right. I don't know if that's going to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if that joke, actually. That joke might have missed. Yeah. I started that joke, and I was like, oh, shit, now I have to finish this joke. I think I'm fine. I think I'm okay. Worse things have been said by white guys on podcasts.
Just because it could be worse doesn't mean that you get off scot-free.
Okay, so Okay.
That's a very low bar to clear.
Yeah.
White guys have said worse things. Yes.
Scott
Yeah.
Free, great white guy of podcasting, by the way.
Yeah. No, I love his podcast.
Yeah. It's called the Tax Fraud Hustle
Right.
Stars.
Right. It has some problematic views around trans folks, but
It has some problematic views around youth sports betting.
right. And for some reason has real strong feelings about the new Star Wars movies. I don't know.
Man. All right. So anyway, but let's get back to somebody has a problem. Somebody has a problem that we need to address.
No, you're right.
What have we established? Jim Henson's kids morally corrosive to the foundation of the very universe that we walk upon. Jim Henson had to courageously insert his brave Christian soul into a gay puppet to awaken him, get fully erect, and then, maybe parent this kid. Sit erect.
It's sit erect.
Sit erect and then parent this kid. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it happened once. So I don't know, it's sort of parroting.
Well,
yeah, I think that's my problem that I'm like having with that theory.
Unfortunately, listen, my dad listens to the podcast and he was great. All great fathers should listen to their son's podcast. A lot of dads, maybe that's all they think there is to fatherhood.
You just be present once
there?
and yeah.
Yeah, and that's not good. Men need to step up. Have I redeemed myself for the previous offensive remarks, Aaliyah? Have I saved myself?
I'm just the judge now?
Yes, judge, jury, and executioner.
Right. So for the rest of the podcast, Andrew and I are just gonna throw out terms and you tell us if they're okay or not.
Cool.
Starting with, can I call Irish people an Irishman?
I'm not Irish.
I know, but
can I call Irish people drunken louts?
I think so. If they don't want to be called that, they should stop drinking and louting. I think Jewish beats Irish. I could definitely say that.
As far as what?
As far as being able to make that joke.
Okay.
Let us know in the Spotify. I can't answer the Spotify question. The algorithm won't like that.
Because it's certainly not boxing.
Okay. So we've established Jim Henson failed attempt.
Thank you for listening to Underworld News Tonight.
Thank you. I have to retire. I've been canceled, maybe, or saved. I don't know, but I need to retire. I think.
Okay, right. Anyway, so your hypothesis is that Jim Henson, in an effort to make good for the fact that he was perhaps a shitty father, is just randomly possessing some of the facsimiles of his puppets to be a parent to other children.
Yes.
Right. That's what you're.
But it's really more about him, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And once again, like, you can't blame him, because I cannot stress enough, like, the vibes on Jim Henson's kids as babies, like Rancid. Like, I would have made those stupid fucking puppets or whatever the fuck too. But and I think, why does she not tell you about it as an adult? Maybe she realizes what makes somebody a bad parent. I'm asking you guys. It's just, I like to make people think.
I thought that was a rhetorical question.
I like to make people think, not just laugh.
Well, I guess I would say dying prematurely of a preventable illness might put you up there on.
Was his illness preventable?
Being a bad. Didn't
what
he
did
have
he die from?
I thought he got like pneumonia he had like the flu or something, and
thought he had like.
I guess I don't really know.
Yeah, so that's a bit much. We can assert that Jim Henson's kids are absolutely awful, rancid human beings that any father would want to leave. That's fine. But you're just gonna say his illness was preventable for no reason? Like, that guy has puppets to possess.
Maybe he was
He's
looking
things to
forward
do.
to.
Are we looking up how did Jim Henson die? Maybe that should be the
I am.
Spotify question. How do you think Jim Henson died? Don't look it up. Yeah, it's a Spotify question.
Okay. Well, now it's no
I'm
fun.
invested now.
Right.
Are you still looking it up, or are you just
No, I'm still looking it up.
Yeah.
Okay. I stopped. I followed instructions perfectly.
Yeah. Aaliyah, this is how you know that I'm actually not that old. Is look how long it takes him. I would not take me that long to look that up.
Well, I'm on my third beer, so it took me like 4 tries to type Jim Henson death on my iPhone.
Jim Henson death.
Right.
Whoa, it says here he was one of the 9/11 hijackers.
Right. That doesn't seem right.
He distracted them in the Big Bird suit. This is why you're not allowed to wear a Big Bird suit at the airport anymore.
Right. Learned that the hard way.
Man.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's as plausible as anything.
That's my guess is 9/11 hijacker.
Oh, I was going back to the Ernie puppet, or excuse me, the Bert puppet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say, because what is a plane but a big puppet in the sky?
That's true.
You sound so stoned when you said that. Like, I've never heard a sentence that sounded more like it was coming out of a high person.
Yeah, it's because you've not listened to enough of this podcast. So what were you gonna say, Jason?
Now I don't remember. I'm sure it was profound. No,
one of these days it will just be straight up the early signs of dementia that I have to present the record of.
Right. You have to report to the authorities.
Just like the saddest fucking string of episodes.
Right. What do you think about this UFO footage, Jason? Boy, I sure like this pudding.
Is he doing a bit?
Right. I don't like the tapioca as much anymore.
Oh, you're doing like oh my god. Like every episode's just like a late stage Bruce Willis movie.
Wow. Yeah. No, I think we put that issue to bed, right?
Yeah, I think we've put it to bed. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Jim Henson making up for lost time with other people's kids.
Yeah, which, fair enough. Yeah, and the question is, who should have possessed that Ernie puppet? Like, is the Ernie puppet just unpossessed? Why would you possess a puppet? Like, for real, why would you possess a puppet that's part of a pair? That's what I don't get. Or a doll. Right?
No, that's true. And were I a spirit, I think I would choose Ernie. Like, I definitely relate more to Ernie than Bert.
Ernie's
right?
relatable. Ernie also short male representation as well. So that's good. I think that if I could possess any Muppet, I am actually going to go with Grover, because this is true. Grover is canonically Jewish, so I have to go with Grover. Grover's the canonically Jewish Muppet, so I do have to go with Grover. What about you, Aaliyah? Who are you going with?
I don't know. I was trying to. There's a lot of Sesame Street characters.
It's true, and there were so many more.
Does it have to be from Sesame Street?
It could be a Muppet too. It could be Kermit. Yeah. It could be Fozzie Bear. It could be. I picked Grover. I don't think Grover's on Sesame Street. He stops by sometimes to buy weed.
No, Grover's on Sesame Street.
Grover mainly hangs out with the Muppets, though. Grover hangs out with the big boys. And
I do sometimes. Yes, I do feel like Grover would be the one that's like, hanging out with like Fozzie and Ralph the dog are like smoking cigarettes behind the studio. And I feel like Grover would be the one to sort of amble over there, and
you know what happens for
like
real?
he just wants to be cool, like being seen with them.
If you've watched like Sesame Street, Grover only shows up when there's like a sexy lady host. I think he's kind of, he's the Pete Davidson of the Muppets. Is it
who's the rest of the SNL cast then?
Who's on SNL these days? Colin Jost.
Fucking hell.
Colin Jost is fuck. Well, Pete Davidson's not on SNL anymore. So I don't know who's currently on SNL beyond like Weekend Update.
I mean,
and the woman who's on the show now, there's a woman on the show now who just started on the show who goes in on Weekend Update a lot, who's really funny. But I forget her name. So yeah, I guess like Fozzie Bear. I don't know. If I were to go on SNL legends, Adam Sandler is Fozzie Bear, Chris Farley, Big Bird.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm gonna say we have Eddie Murphy. I am actually gonna say is Elmo. And the reason is that I think Eddie Murphy tapped into a certain marketability of the era that Elmo tapped into in the 1980s. Elmo, undoubtedly. I don't think Elmo was a Jim Henson creation, right? Jim Henson was dead, the 9/11 practice run.
Spontaneous human combustion. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
John Mulaney is the Cookie Monster, but specifically when he still had the coke addiction.
Oh yeah.
No, that's good. That's good.
Man.
Jim Belushi would be Gonzo in that they both fuck chickens.
I really thought that joke was gonna be in much worse taste than that. And also less funny. I really thought you were gonna be like John Belushi would be Gonzo because he's dead. And I was like, what the fuck?
No, I was aiming a little more absurdist, but I don't think I have that level of like cruelty or meanness in me.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Wow,
cool.
Aaliyah, do you have any advice for these people? Any thoughts on the situation? I know we've discussed it at length.
I mean, like, my answer is not going to be fun because I like actually take classes about this shit.
Okay.
Really? All right.
Yeah, so I took a learning and memory class. So like false memories are super common. So realistically what happened was that the person misremembered it and then replayed the memory in their head a bunch of times, and then it kept slightly changing over time.
No, it's true. False memory.
So yeah, I don't have like a funny, fun, spirity answer. It's just like
no, but this
like
is true.
Science.
I think no. Yeah.
This is true though, that like false memories are very common, which is why like Aaliyah knows, like if you've ever seen me like bomb and eat shit for 12 minutes straight at a gallery showcase, like that's a false memory.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, if you have any information on how John Henson
you know how Jim Henson died.
Jim Henson, god damn it.
Yes.
Yeah. Jim Henson, not John Henson.
I can't believe that you would show such disrespect to Jim Henson. Do you know his kids could hear this episode?
Oh, man. Wait, isn't John Henson a comedian? Didn't he used to host like Wipeout?
I've
never watched Wipeout.
Oh, I totally watched Wipeout.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh yeah, yes. John Henson is the dude who hosted.
Did he die?
Yeah.
Did he also die?
I think I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think he does Ninja Warrior now, right?
Oh. I do like Ninja Warrior.
Did?
Yeah.
It's good hotel TV.
Yeah. Right. Any kind of obstacle course I'm up for.
Yeah, 100%. Not to do, but
right, to watch.
Yeah.
To watch while slightly drunk.
I have better reflexes though than people realize. I'm very slippery. You can't narrow me down. I grease myself up every time I go out.
Yeah, noted. Do not
Can't wait for that next time I see you.
Yeah. 5. That's actually the number one advice. You know how we try to give advice to the youth all the time because it is important.
Right.
My number one advice is like you are at so much risk of being kidnapped if you don't canola oil yourself.
Right.
in
Yeah,
the
Is
just
morning.
that my
huh?
defense plan? Because I have had a man look me in the eyes and tell me that I look kidnappable. So, do I just need to like be faster?
I think this is above my pay grade a little bit, Aaliyah. You know, I think this. I'm gonna say we're
Damn.
paranormal investigators. I think. I mean,
I
all right.
I
Didn't
This
you
is
wrestle?
actually. I
I
did wrestle, but like, here's the thing: is like there are weight class. I used to know like it'll help you, but like there are weight classes. Like I'm gonna get serious for a minute. Like
Yeah.
there are
Oh.
weight classes. Like if like a 200-pound man who like also knows how to do that like grabs you, like you should learn to do that stuff because it will help you a lot. But like
Mhm.
real advice is like this is gonna be controversial. Like get a fucking gun. I kind of think like most women should get a fucking gun. Like it's a little bit. That's
Mhm.
like my most. That's like my only like kind of right wing opinion. I feel.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I always have pepper spray on me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. But you know what?
yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
you should. I did actually learn this from someone who teaches self-defense classes. Like, check the grade of it because a lot of pepper spray they sell
yeah.
isn't actually of a high enough grade. And like
Mhm,
there
Hmm.
is, we talk offline. Like I go to a gym that does occasionally have like
mhm,
pepper spray defense
Yeah.
classes specifically for
Oh, that's
like,
interesting.
yeah, because like
mhm,
people like don't angle their wrist right and like get some on themselves and stuff like stupid mistakes that you
Yeah.
don't think about, but like in a
mhm.
stressful moment you want to have the reflexes.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And also remember groin and eyes.
yeah,
Go
that's
for
true.
the
Yeah.
groin, go for the not with pepper spray per se, but yeah.
Actually, you don't necessarily kicking someone in the dick is not as high percentage of a move as people think it is to like actually take someone down. Like, because if someone's on drugs, like they're just gonna shrug that off. And if someone's like
Yeah.
committed enough, and also like your legs are very strong. So like if someone tries to kick me in the balls, like I'm reflexively squeezing my thighs and I'm just gonna catch their leg before they get my balls.
This
So
I thought I was sharing like a silly little anecdote
No,
from
it's not
like
a silly little anecdote. That's like a really scary situation, Aaliyah. That's like I'm
no,
worried
it
about you
was
for
in
real.
a
right.
joking tone, and then this turned into like my dad's
I
like
know.
telling me how to defend
Right,
myself, and I
right,
didn't mean for that to happen.
right.
We are also telling the people of Algeria, though.
No,
We're
you're
also telling the
absolutely right.
people of Algeria how to defend themselves.
Right. We both instantly, despite neither of us having children, went into dad mode. And
Yeah,
like,
instantly.
no, you gotta hold your keys in your fucking fist. And you rip that guy's throat out and you don't stop until his head is paste.
Aaliyah, if you ripped a guy's throat out, that would be like I know it would be very traumatic and horrible, obviously. But if you ripped a guy's throat out, that would be kind of funny. It would be really if you like straight up like chihuahua'd someone.
I don't know if
Chihuahua.
I'm strong enough to do that.
You're strong.
I
I
need
think
to let me get a couple more months in the gym, and then
Aaliyah, I think that you have some Spider-Man strength that you don't tell us about. I legit like I think
okay.
that you've got like I think you have skinny person strength. I do think that like I actually think that like you could low key beat me in a fight. Not
I
low
think I
key. I
could
think you could
outrun
kinda,
you.
I
you
was
could
gonna
de-
say low key. How do you low key
well, I
beat
will talk
someone
because
in a
Yeah.
fight?
I feel like I'm like the least aggressive. I'm definitely the least aggressive man I know, besides maybe Jason.
Yeah,
The
I'm
least
I'm
aggressive.
I'm a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a very because I'm probably the second because I can get into like Jersey mode, you know, but like
Yeah.
usually I'm pretty like nice. So like, but I think you could definitely beat me in a fight. I think you have some wiry Spider-Man strength, and I think that you could just like straight up if you get someone into a rear naked choke, I feel like you have like really hard forearms that they're just fucked.
That was a really creative way of calling me a lesbian.
Is that?
Oh man, what are we even doing?
Do we have a podcast? It was like
Yeah,
we should start a podcast. It would be really funny if there were like recordings of these conversations.
right.
All right.
So I guess I don't know this about you, Andrew. And I just met you, Aaliyah, so I'm not sure
Mhm.
with you either.
Yeah.
Are either of you like guys like collectors? Is there anything that you
I haven't been keeping it up for a long
collect or
time, but I have got actually a pretty big comic collection. I'll actually show maybe some of the boxes of my comic collection. in this auditory medium on camera.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right down here.
Also, you having a comic collection is the least surprising thing I've ever heard.
I've got these 2 big boxes right down there. So I've got I mean, you know, it's my preferred sink of money that I just messed up the audio and video for, but I haven't actually collected any comics in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll collect like pins if I travel somewhere, so I try to get like a pin every time I go to a new place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
nice.
cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I sort of collect guitar pedals.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've told me
like,
that.
yeah.
I knew that about you,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a very good player at all, but
Hey, you're
I
pretty
don't
good.
know.
You did our outro.
Yeah, it's okay. But no, I like to yeah. And if any of us are up for it, according to WBUR and writer Ali Germaning, we could also, if we so chose, collect human remains.
Ooh. You know,
I'm good. I don't want to.
all right.
Oh, it's going to get worse. It's going to get bad.
It's not that I want to collect human remains, plural, right?
Yeah.
But like, okay, like, I could
like singular, a human remain.
I could have a hand. If I had one hand, you don't think it would be funny to have like one hand that in your house, you could use it as like a beer cozy?
Or if someone's like, "Hey, give me a hand with this couch," you just hand
That'd
them
be funny.
hand them the jar.
And if you're lonely, you could make love to it.
I made a facial reaction again, but I didn't know how to turn it into a voice sound.
Right.
No, okay, so no, I think if I was gonna have a remain,
I think maybe the voice sound would be, "Oh my fucking god."
Yeah, pretty much. That would be it.
Yeah. No, for real. If I was gonna have a remain, if it was an old enough skull, I would be fine with a very old skull. But it'd have to be old enough, and it would have to be a white guy's skull. It would have to be a white guy's skull. That's the other thing. None of this imperialism. None of this stealing bodies. I want a white guy's skull because I know that's the ethically sourced skull.
Okay.
There may be some issues with that. The headline here again, coming to us from WBUR.org.
Mm-hmm.
Harvard, the human remains trade, and collectors who fuel the market.
So when they say fuel the market, they don't think that this is like a super cool hobby. It seems like they're against it, is what you're getting at, right? Like,
yes, they do sort of tip their hand that like maybe this isn't the same as collecting, say, Beanie Babies or Matchbox cars.
Okay,
right?
But here's the thing, right? Like, people will collect these fucking Funko Pops all the time, and they're so bad for the environment.
Yeah.
And what is a human but a large biodegradable Funko
Pop? Sure. No,
a human is sentient.
Yeah.
So is a Funko Pop. Have you seen Night at the Museum?
I have. I don't recall any Funko Pops, but I take your point. What's most shocking about Jeremy Pauly isn't his tattooed eyeball or the metal spikes protruding from his scalp. Also a little shocking.
Yeah.
It's his openness about trading in human remains.
That's still less shocking than the tattooed eyeball, because like, how do you get the tattoo on the eyeball? I get the eyelid even. Like, that's extreme, but I get it. The eyeball, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, like, LASIK exists.
That's true, but that's not like, you wouldn't call it like you got an eye tattoo. You would call that like you got like a corrective surgery.
Yeah, but like, you can fuck with your eyes a little bit.
You can fuck with your eyes.
If you like properly numb your like.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think they do it with them like.
The thing I heard about LASIK was like, the anesthetic they give you makes you forget it probably, but you're like conscious during. So that's why I would never do it.
I couldn't.
Yeah, but also
I couldn't.
Yeah, you can fuck with your eyes, like you said. I will say to like if you're listening right now, like you can't fuck with your eyes. Like a doctor can fuck with your eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I cannot personally, I can't even put eye drops in my eyes. Like
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
that like, yeah, I'm that
Mhm.
like sensitive or
And
squeamish.
we're turning 50 this year, huh?
Yeah.
And
No.
we haven't
And
figured out eye drops yet.
no.
All right, just checking.
No. Same way I haven't figured out how to balance a checking account. I haven't figured out credit scores. I don't know what an annuity is.
That's how annuited things are. Everyone knows that.
Right. The article goes on. And again, this is a public radio station, so they're a little verbose.
This is
It's kind of a
WBUR.
story.
Yeah, this is WBUR. I had a professor, actually, a journalism professor in college who used to work there. I'm not going to say his name because he probably doesn't want to be associated with us anymore.
Yeah, so a little bit verbose. So
Yeah,
bear with me here. Standing
I
in the
will.
door. Thank you. Standing in the doorway of his rural Pennsylvania home, dressed all in black, he greets an unannounced reporter with patience. Paulie makes his living in what's called the quote oddities market, buying and selling human remains and even binding books in human skin. It's all legal provided the remains aren't stolen. It's a niche field, he says of his work, like a quote collector or preservation artist. He won't say much more because of the sprawling criminal investigation in which he's a prominent figure.
Yeah, so that's not good. I mean, so I know we can't give legal advice, right? But if you're a central figure in a sprawling legal investigation,
Right. Right.
I would like stay away from WBUR entirely.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That man's for sure a serial killer.
This
Like,
Yeah.
I don't have evidence for that, but like if you're making books out of human skin, you've murdered at least one person.
Aaliyah, can I give us perhaps another scorching hot take?
Sure.
All right. I would respect him more if he was a serial, because this is like, yeah, this is literally what Ed Gein did, right? Like, but like, I'd
Yeah.
respect him more if he was a serial killer, because at least that's farm to table.
Right. It's yeah.
Homegrown.
You can right.
Yeah,
You can trace it back to the source.
Yeah, this motherfucker's just like buying dead bodies. Like this guy's just buying your grandma to make it fun.
And they could have been factory farmed.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't free range humans.
Oh my god.
It was Paulie's arrest that pointed investigators to a nationwide network of stolen human remains trafficking and led them to Harvard Medical School. There, a lone morgue manager allegedly plundered parts from bodies donated for science and sold them online for profit. The crimes themselves were shocking, as was Harvard's failure to secure its morgue.
Can I just say this?
Please.
Selling the bodies is the most ethical thing a lone morgue manager can do with them.
Well, I think the most ethical thing would be to leave them the fuck alone.
No, that is a supervised morgue manager. That is only a supervised morgue manager will do this. That's what I'm getting at. We need no more lone morgue managers. There need to be 2 morgue managers on duty at all times.
That's true. Like he's a loose cannon.
Because if you have 2 ethical morgue because if you have 2 morgue managers on duty at all times, one of them wants to sell the bodies and one of them wants to fuck the bodies, and as a result, no one's doing either.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is the smartest thing I've said on the show.
It is definitely the most common sense thing you've said.
Yeah, we're at what episode, like 400, 450?
Right. We're in our 50th year of podcasting.
Yeah, we started on ham radio.
That's right. Just break a breaker.
We started intentionally getting ourselves arrested and yelling into the police scanner.
Right. Bigfoot's real. Notice the mid-tarsal break. No federal law against buying or selling human remains. Largely only a patchwork of state laws that go largely unenforced. This allows the trade in so-called, quote, medical specimens to flourish in retail shops and expos that specialize in oddities. The body parts marketplace is easy to find for anyone on the hunt. WBR, WBUR didn't have to scour the dark web to discover a vast realm of mostly legal human remains trading. Okay,
we actually have talked about this.
What's the dark web? How the fuck?
Oh, so I can answer
that.
How
do you
actually.
Get to the dark web?
So the dark web is internet that you need a Tor, what's called a Tor browser to access. So the dark web is not indexed on any normal search engine or on your normal browser. So you need to download a specific browser that will access. 99.9% of the dark web is the most boring shit imaginable because it's literally the business back end of a bunch of websites. That's like yeah. So that's the long and short answer, and it's something that no ISP has any control over, basically.
Okay, thank you. Actually, yeah. But like I hear that like what Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro, that's like the intellectual.
No, the
dark
intellectual
web,
dark web is just like a bunch of white guys that have podcasts, but not us.
Right, or like Substacks. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a Substack. Then I think we'd be we're not racist enough to. We have to get more racist to get a Substack. So give us another year or two.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has a Substack.
Yeah, but he's not intellectual dark
pretty
web.
Good. No, that's true.
Not everyone with a Substack is bad.
He's the intellectual light web.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The intellectual Jedi.
I feel so bad for that poor employee who their job for the day was to like look for human remains on the dark web.
They didn't have to. They just had to Google buy body now. They just had to Google. We've done this on the show, actually.
Actually, that's right. We found where you can buy human skeletons.
Yeah, you can buy an adolescent skeleton.
What are you doing with your time?
We were talking about this on the show. Read a book or something. I've read books. I've read books. It's called How to Buy a Skeleton. Yeah, let me look this up right now. Skeleton for sale. Not a plastic skeleton. I want a real one. Skulls Unlimited. Oh, this is all animal skulls. Gross. I want a real human skeleton.
I like how he says gross.
Yeah. Like being human makes it better.
Right. Yum.
Yeah, I can buy a real adolescent skeleton. This is a real dead teenager. I think that makes it cool because like you can relate to them as a Zoomer, Aaliyah.
Sure.
It was on sale when for a mere $9,925. Typically ships in 4 to 6 weeks. All right, it says made to order. That's not good.
Yeah, no, I don't care for that.
No, made to order.
I don't like any
Sorry,
of this.
Anatomy Warehouse. What the fuck?
Yeah, Jesus. No, that's no good. Yeah.
Made to order is the craziest shit.
Oh my God.
Right.
Like, listen, I'm as pro-abortion as the next guy, but we gotta cut it off at a certain point.
Right. I mean, yeah, if you're a teenager, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be aborted.
Yeah. Wish I was aborted.
I do sometimes too. But that's why I have a counselor. That's why I talk to my therapist.
It's nature's get out of jail free card.
Right. This natalism shit's for the birds. I didn't ask for this. Large social media groups and conversations among collectors happen openly on Facebook. There are groups with names like Real Human Skulls Only, No Scammer, and the Serious Wet Specimen Collectors, Buyers and Sellers Group. I do not care for,
not wet. Yeah, you gotta get them dry. I don't mind you buying a skeleton. Oh, sorry, continue, Leah.
Oh, I didn't. I just was like, I don't like it.
You don't like
that was my whole thing.
I don't mind you having a skeleton, straight up. I don't even mind really, as long as it's like a guy from Iowa. You can have a mummy, but again, no, dry it.
Right, famously mummify people in Iowa.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think
so. The culture, yeah.
This type of liberal condescension is exactly how we ended up with Trump.
You're right. Who am I to tell people about mummification?
Yes.
the article goes on to it talks about the exploits of Cedric Lodge, the aforementioned lone Harvard morgue attendant.
Mm.
His 30-year career working mostly alone and far from the eyes of supervisors.
Yeah, this is the like thing.
Yeah.
A mortician, they're the pilots of the ground. You don't trust them.
Right. In 2012, prosecutors say, which is always a good sign, prosecutors say you did something. Lodge began
prosecutors know what I did 12 years ago. Great.
Right. Right. Prosecutors say Lodge began stealing body parts from the morgue and taking them home in his orange Subaru that bore the license plate Grim-R to his tidy split level in Galveston, New Hampshire. His wife, Denise, would take it from there, handling logistics. She's the one who packed up the goods and took them to the post office. It was a lucrative business. Court records show that one buyer paid Denise Lodge more than $37,000, sending his payments with memos like head number 7 and, quote, brains.
That's fun.
I appreciate how much he committed to the bit.
Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what it says. There are BRA 6 eyes.
Yeah.
And S.
Man, the guy's wife helped him with it. That's crazy. Usually, I mean, I guess if you're a body dealer, right? You think his wife found a body and he had to be like, babe, it's not that bad. I'm just stealing them from work and selling them on the black market. I'm doing this for us.
Right. But she had to be like, no, this sounds good. Yeah, totally. Actually, the article's pretty long, so I think I'm just going to summarize it. Although I do enjoy the prose. It's very much like a dramatic narrative. But
yeah, I mean, most of the publications we read are not well written.
No,
half the time it's like this is AI.
Right. But no, when they charged dude for stealing the bodies, he pled not guilty. His wife pled guilty. So she's going to prison for this.
Oh my god.
And he's fighting it, and they're still married.
That's insane.
That's wild.
Right.
So
can you imagine Thanksgiving with like
right,
both families there?
Yeah, right. No.
So I will say it's weird for the wife to be the one to take the fall. I feel like because I feel like most men have a sense of like, or would have a sense of like, I should be the one to take the fall just culturally, if nothing else. But like, I do think that it's pretty common when there's a crime that's at least known about in married couples for them to be like, okay, who's going to take the fall and who's not? Because then you could still manage assets after the fact. While you're married, they're still your assets. So like what happens is like people will get married and then they'll get divorced once that person's in prison. And sometimes that's like, I'm done. But sometimes that's also like, okay, now all of these assets are mine and they're no longer subject to seizure. So I guess his thoughts are like, if I'm not guilty, then a lot more of the money is protected for both of us. Right. Now, it also seems like she would have a better case for that than him, but I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, it says that Denise Lodge's, the wife's attorney, is blaming the whole thing on Cedric, the husband.
Okay, yeah. So this isn't going well.
But again, they're still married. Like they didn't divorce over this.
A lot of that, but they could be waiting for this to be over too. Like, because also like that's a whole separate set of things that goes into a courtroom. So that if they have an active case going on about this, then yeah, you actually don't want to get divorced and bring a bunch of evidence in that case into the courtroom that's going to fuck both of you.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I'm assuming they're both guilty.
I think that's safe. Yeah. I guess my point is this seems like maybe some sort of like scheme or so, maybe they have something in mind they're trying to accomplish that I'm just not like devious enough to
I think that the minds of people that live in New Hampshire are just not the same as ours.
I think that's probably right. And I just cannot get myself into the head of one of those New Hampshire psychopaths. New Hampshire's what? Is that the nutmeg state? No. What's New? No, New Hampshire's live free or die.
Yeah, it's the live free or die state.
Okay.
And you're gonna let the government tell you that you can't sell dead bodies with your wife.
Right. That you stole from work as if it was toilet paper or printer toner.
All right. Can I be honest that I do have some mixed feelings on this?
I think that's fair. Although I guess, what do you mean mixed?
All right. On the one hand, taking bodies is usually bad. Can we agree about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this is parody, not actionable. When my last job fired me, I did steal straight up like $100 worth of postage stamps that I have not bought stamps in like 2 years. So like, I get that, you know?
I mean, to be fair, I have not bought stamps in probably 5 years. And it's not because I stole a shit ton of them. It's because I don't need to mail fucking anything anymore.
Yeah.
I'd have to
You
mail.
stole like one of the least helpful things.
Well, no, I said when you're in Aaliyah, when you're done with college, you're gonna see how much shit you still have to mail. It's fucking insane. I agree with you. I still have to mail checks sometimes. I still have to mail fucking RSVPs. You gotta mail those. Nobody likes. Not everyone does the evites, so you gotta mail those. Sometimes you send someone a gift too, and you gotta mail that.
See what I mean? He sounds so much older than I do.
I know y'all have just like passed the baton back and forth this whole podcast.
I'm just saying sometimes some things happen in the postal service.
I think, seriously, the last time I bought stamps, it's because Jimi Hendrix was on them, and I just wanted like a bunch of Jimi Hendrix stamps.
That's such a good reason to buy stamps.
Jason, I think you bought LSD.
No, that had Jerry Garcia on it.
Oh, that's
and I
true.
bought that behind the post office afterwards.
Man. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So anyway, the article leaves things with the lodges, Cedric and Denise there. Goes back to Paulie, again, tattooed eyeball, metal spikes in his scalp.
Of course, how can we forget?
Yeah. Now, his wife did file for divorce from him when she discovered 5 gallon
the eyeball tattoo.
That wasn't enough, apparently. When she discovered 5-gallon buckets of body parts in their basement and called the cops on him. Paulie sat down with police, told him about his broad network of human remains trading. Paulie's a pretty famous guy in oddity circles. Prolific social media poster, sharing photoshops with his current fiance. Examples of their collaborative.
I'm sorry. Can we back up for how long ago did he get divorced? He's already got a current fucking fiance. What the fuck is this?
I feel like that's not our biggest issue right now.
No, but ladies, you gotta raise your standards, ladies. I'm sorry.
It does not say, but I will say not nearly long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because this is like, like you gotta ask, are you divorced? If so, why? Why is WBUR talking to me? These are the questions.
Right.
Come on.
Right. What's in all these buckets?
Yeah, that's a good one to ask. By the way, can I just say more advice for women? Go down to if you're married, go down to your basement sometimes, because all these fucking stories of like what's in the basement, I found they shouldn't have piled up that much.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think if my spouse like was ordering buckets of body parts, I would probably catch on like,
yeah,
at minimum by the second delivery, right? Like,
Aaliyah, maybe this is an offensive question. Do lesbians ever have buckets of body parts, or is that like a man thing?
I don't know.
I feel like they put
them
in.
There's probably a couple weird ones.
Yeah. I feel like lesbians put them in those big snap bins.
Yeah, maybe it's not a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
It's like it's bedazzled or something.
Right. It's like like vacuum sealed in its own little
Yeah.
plastic wrap. Yeah.
It's got
We're
the
classy
fucking
about our shit.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 5-gallon buckets I think might be one of the most male-coded inanimate objects.
Oh,
there
for
are.
sure.
Like just like having a guy with like a bucket under a leak, you know.
Right. Right, like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Mhm.
Put a bucket under the leaky roof. Okay, anyway, Paulie here, pretty famous, prolific social media poster, photo shoots with current fiance, and examples of their collaborative, quote, blood art portraits of serial killers. So this whole thing's already pretty much going off the rails, and I don't know how much sympathy I have anymore for
it's like the griftiness.
oddities collectors as being like
No,
anything anything I can empathize with.
No, yeah, because like I said, when you only have one skull, you're not a collector, and you could always be like, I thought that one was fake, you know?
Well, I do have one skull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
there's
cute.
a apparently there was
Yeah.
a real skull on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland.
Yeah. Anyway, this Paulie dude, he goes on a podcast because that's what white guys do.
Yeah. It's fun.
And he blabs all about this. He says, quote, I was always fascinated by anthropodermic bibliopedgy. Paulie told the interviewer, explaining how he taught himself to turn skin into leather and how he sourced the raw material. It's not like it's easy to come by, so I do a lot of work to track it down, he said.
Man.
Is
he
there
wanted credit?
Yeah.
Where did you source the material?
It goes on, an Arkansas woman named Candace Chapman Scott, she worked at a mortuary in Arkansas that cremated donated bodies after they'd been studied at the University of Arkansas for medical sciences.
Okay.
Wait, the University of Arkansas for medical sciences.
So this guy gets skin originally from this woman. He teaches himself how to make this. Now he's a body dealer, but he's also clearly in the middle of a legal investigation, but doesn't seem to care.
Yes.
Listen to your lawyers, guys.
Right.
I know I don't want this guy to do well, but like, please, like, listen to your lawyer because I might be related to them.
Yeah. The woman also sold Paulie fetuses as detailed in court records. She once told Paulie,
feel like that's
less
bad.
We get stillbirths all the time and basically give the parents back a pinch of ashes from a whole person we cremated. This doesn't sound great.
No, that's like not. Can I just say I'm against this?
Yeah.
What a hot take.
Thanks.
Right. We make the bold stands here. No, this is really getting into like fucked up territory.
Yeah.
This
is bad.
Like, yeah. So the article goes on. Again, it's very long. It's very but this Paulie dude goes on to compare himself to, there's like museums of oddities or medical curiosities where they display, like cadavers from the 1800s or fetuses in jars and all that stuff. And this is how he sees himself. And maybe there's something to that, but again, like they're sort of stealing the bodies, right? Like, like the parents of, these stillborn didn't consent to some asshole making leather out of their skin.
No, it's straight up theft for profit. Like all of this stuff is like, like It's also not that like the things at those museums were like sourced super ethically so much as like time and
No, of
stuff like
course,
that
yeah.
and like content. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, the thing is too is like you're just some guy with an eyeball tattoo as well. You're like a divorced guy with an eyeball tattoo, and that's not the same as being a museum, I think.
Right.
Mhm.
The article also it talks about the experiences of some other less tattooed folks who also are into collecting these sorts of oddities. Um, there's a sorry.
You're good.
Uh, there's a like middle-aged white couple
Obviously.
with
Yeah.
no discernible tattoos and what seems to be a fairly posh house who have skeletons, like child skeletons in cases around their living room.
And no, get an adult
Um,
skeleton. I know the kids are cheaper, but
Oh, here it is. A Delaware couple, Justin Capps and Sonia Cobb, doesn't like the term collector at all. They consider themselves, quote, rescuers of human remains.
I
They
think
go
I think I think it's a bit late.
here. People rescue puppies and kittens, and we rescue medical specimens, Cap said. They claimed to take in skeletons and other remains that were abandoned in closets or left in disrepair. Yeah.
Huh.
So
That's crazy.
You should then like
yeah.
I was gonna say give them to a research center, but clearly that's where this problem starts. So don't do that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so listen. Moral of the story, guys. Don't buy bodies, but if you want to, it's fun and easy.
It is. What so they talked about like making leather and like binding books. What books are they binding with like human skin?
Probably Eat, Pray, Love.
No, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very human memoir.
Yeah. um no, but yeah, this is really fucked up. I mean generally, yeah. And we've talked about, I think we've mentioned before that um there is a recent, because of uh museums have recently like sort of rethought the ethics of
Mhm.
things that they show and are repatriating like artifacts and remains
Mhm.
back to the places they took them
Yeah, I
from.
was in London last year, and there's like big like we're sorry signs all over the museum.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, it's like a lot of that, or signs that are like we should give this back, but we won't. Like those are the two types of signs.
um right, so even like quote unquote legitimate places are sort of
Mhm.
Yeah,
rethinking like their possession of human remains. But yeah, I don't know, this just seems like super fucked up.
yeah, it's not good. It is
No,
not good.
I get I get like, say if like, I mean, when my grandpa died, he didn't leave me shit, except like a propensity for depression. Uh,
Could sell that.
but but assuming like if he had left me, say like a human skeleton, I might keep that and be like, well, this is kind of, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like to go out of your way
Yeah.
to like, buy these that are stolen from people, or yeah, people don't know that that's how they're going to end up. Like,
It is funny
Mhm.
to pose
that
one
doesn't,
skeleton with a bong, but after that, gotta move
right,
on.
right. Maybe a dildo too.
Yeah. All right.
So
This is
that's two.
Yeah. Well, that sure was a fun romp, wasn't it? No weird pauses for changing Zoom calls or anything like that.
No, no, yeah. While I was ordering some human skulls and feet.
Mhm.
Yeah, none of us were ordering human skulls mid-story and then started to feel guilty about it. Not at all.
Right.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. If
Mhm.
you enjoyed this show, you can follow us on wherever you get your podcasts and on
Mhm.
social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Underworld News Tonight, all one word, Facebook, Underworld News Tonight, multiple words. Find clips from the show, links, catch up with us. Aaliyah, where can people find you?
All of my social media stuff is at Aaliyah Comedy. I'm at a lot of open mics in like Urbana-Champaign area, and I'll be at the industry highlight at Gallery Art Bar on Tuesday.
This
So
Tuesday,
yes, this Tuesday.
June 17th, 18th.
Sure, I think that's
18th.
right. Yeah.
Because let me
I
see.
think
Today's we're recording on the 14th, 15th,
Mhm.
Saturday, 16th is Sunday,
Right.
18th. Yeah, I got it. Great.
Yeah.
Carry the one. Yeah. Divide by 3. All
Yeah.
right.
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm also trying to get out to like Springfield and Peoria more, so
There's some
Yeah.
good mics.
eventually
in,
I'll be there.
Yeah.
There's some good mics in both of those places. There are some good mics
Mhm.
in both of those places.
No, it was a
Oh,
pleasure to
Vi-
have you. Yeah.
yeah,
No, it was a
you're-
lot of fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Really
Jason,
enjoyed it.
You.
Anytime.
You have to say your Instagram
Welcome
though.
back anytime. Yeah. Jason V Strong. On Instagram, I will be in preparation for Squonkapalooza.
That's
I'll be
right.
posting some more artwork. I'm going to make some fun stickers that we'll have available at the festival.
That is
Yeah,
that
should
is
be
right.
cool.
And that reminds me to tell you guys, check us out, Squonkapalooza, August 10th. We're in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you guys just stop by our booth, say hi. We're just gonna be selling some stickers. I think that's it for events. We have
Yeah.
Aaliyah has her thing on Tuesday.
Mhm.
We have Squonkapalooza in August. I have a show that I can't announce yet, but I will be doing 20 minutes at a thing in Springfield
Ooh.
at the end of July. Yeah, it's a lot of
How
time
cool.
that I'm definitely ready for. Definitely like they definitely told me 20 minutes and I definitely didn't say like I can't do that. But you guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Andrew Michaels Comedy. TikTok and YouTube's uncensored. My in-laws follow the Instagram, so it's a little more we keep it a little more PG-13 on there. But either way.
Right. Doesn't talk about his taint and balls and shit.
I don't talk about my taint and balls. I will not. You'll never see me show scrot on there. Yeah, anyway, maybe you guys are thinking, man, this sucks. I have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for my human remains to get here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to fucking worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the podcast, live in the moment. It's all fucking phantom time. But right now,